All right, let's jump right in. You know, there are these moments in Scripture they're like doorways. On the surface, they're telling a pretty straightforward story, but if you've got the key, they just open up into these vast, hidden chambers of meaning. And today, we're unlocking one of the most profound of these doors. We're not even looking at a whole saga, but at a single, supercharged moment, the morning after Jacob's all-night struggle. Just picture it, like in 4K heritage style. The absolute black of night has just broken. This brilliant, almost supernatural golden light just spills over the horizon, catching the dust in the air. And you see Jacob, now called Israel, walking forward, right into this incredible dawn. But he's not striding, he's limping. Every single step is a paradox. It's a testament to his victory, sure, but it's also a physical memory of the brutal cost of that victory. The whole landscape is just glowing with redemption, but his body, his actual sinews, they remember the darkness. This is the limping dawn, and through the lens of the Zohar, we're going to explore what it really, truly means.
And this right here, this is our focus point. This is the whole verse. The text doesn't just say the sun rose. It says, Vayizrach lo hashemesh, and the sun rose for him. That one little word, lo, for him, changes absolutely everything. It takes what should be a universal astronomical event and turns it into this deeply personal, almost custom-made act of cosmic healing. The Zohar just grabs onto this phrase and asks, wait a minute, what kind of sun rises for just one person? See, this isn't the sun of a normal morning. This is the sun of a metamorphosis. It's a detail that feels just a little bit out of place, creating this mystery that we're going to unpack, layer by fascinating layer.
So here's our game plan. We are going on a complete journey through the Pardes, the 4 levels of meaning. We'll start right on the surface with the pshat, the literal story of the fight. Then we'll dig a little deeper for the hints and lessons, the remes and drash. What's the deal with the sunrise and the scar? From there, we go deep into the mystical secret, the sod, to see how this one event actually healed the entire cosmos. Then we'll bring it right into our world with some modern parables, the mashal. And finally, we'll land on the personal takeaway, the nifsal, and explore what all this means for you and me.
Okay, let's set the scene, because this is pure cinema. Jacob is completely, utterly alone at the Jabba crossing. He's sent his family, his stuff, everyone and everything across the river. He's just standing there on the threshold, caught between a past he ran from and a future he is terrified of. That reunion with his estranged, super-powerful brother Esau. The sun is down, the darkness is total, and then, out of that darkness, an adversary appears.
The text is so simple, it just calls him an ish, a man. But who is this guy? Is it an angel? Is it Esau's spiritual double? Is it his own shadow? The text just leaves it hanging there, ambiguous. And the struggle, it's visceral, it is raw. This is not some theological debate. This is a physical, all-night, knockdown, drag-out battle for survival. It's the ultimate human encounter with the great unknown, with the forces that challenge our right to even see the next day. And here's the outcome. As dawn starts to break, Jacob just refuses to let go until he gets a blessing. He prevails. He gets a new name, Yisrael, which means one who has struggled with the divine and with man and has overcome. I mean, what an upgrade for your identity. But it comes at a price. His opponent strikes the socket of his thigh, the Jit Hanasheh, and from that moment on, Jacob, the new Israel, limps. Victory and woundedness are just fused together in this single life-changing event.
Okay, so let's shift gears from what happened to why it happened. This is where the Zohar really starts to work its magic. It takes these 2 symbols from the end of the story, the glorious healing sunrise and the permanent painful wound, and it just puts them right next to each other. On the surface, they don't make any sense together, right? I mean, if the sun rose to heal him, why does he still limp? If he's wounded, how can he possibly be considered whole? And this slide just lays out that central paradox perfectly. You've got 2 columns here. On one side, you have the dawn, redemption, healing, victory, wholeness. Beautiful. But on the other side, you have the limp, the wound, the memory, the pain, the scar. The whole Zoharic teaching isn't about picking one side. It's about understanding that real, true transformation means you have to hold both of these opposing ideas at the exact same time. This is the tension we have to live inside to get what's really going on here.
Now, the Zohar's perspective on this is just brilliant. It asks, what sun? And it answers, this was the Shamshad de Ganiz, the hidden sun. This wasn't our star in the sky. It was a spiritual illumination, a flow of divine energy that contained a sutta, which means healing, specifically to heal him from his wound.
And the result, the Zohar says, is that he became whole, shalem. Not healed like he went back to the way he was before, but made whole in a totally new way, a way that actually includes the wound as part of his very essence. And this idea just reframes everything. The limp is not a defect, it's not a sign that the healing didn't quite take. It is zichron, it's memory, made physical in the body. It's a permanent, living archive of that night of wrestling. It's an eternal testament that says, I struggled, I was broken, I survived, and I was transformed. The scar doesn't take away from the victory, it proves it. It's the indelible mark of his transformation into Israel. Okay, now we go deep, so buckle up. Welcome to the level of Sod, the mystical secret. Here, the Kabbalah teaches that Jacob isn't just a man, and this struggle wasn't just some personal event. Jacob is a cosmic archetype. His body is literally a map of the divine emanations, the Sephirot, and his personal story is a living blueprint for a process of cosmic damage and repair. So whatever happened to his body that night happened to the body of the cosmos itself.
So first, let's get our players straight. The sun that rises for Jacob, that's the light of the Sephirot of Sephirot. Sephirot means beauty or harmony. It's the central pillar of the whole Sephirotic tree, the one that balances all the energies of kindness and severity. It's the spiritual dimension that is most identified with Jacob himself, representing truth and this perfectly integrated harmony. So when that hidden sun rises, it's the light of Jacob's own core essence, Sephirot shining out.
Now, where did he get wounded? In the thigh. Well, in the cosmic map of the Sephirot, the two thighs, or the legs, correspond to Netzach and Had. Netzach is all about endurance, victory, perseverance. Had is about splendor, humility, acknowledgement, and together they are the channels that take that abstract, balanced energy from Tiferet and bring it down into concrete action, into manifestation in our world. They're basically the legs that carry the divine plan into reality. So the wound isn't random at all, it's in the very pipes of implementation.
So that brings up the big question, right? If Jacob is Tiferet, and his thighs are Netzach and Had, what exactly got damaged in the cosmic system during this whole thing? And maybe more importantly, if the healing light came and fixed the system, how did it still leave a scar? To get that, we need to trace the flow of that light.
So here's the play-by-play on a cosmic scale. The struggle with that dark angel, it created a blockage in the divine flow. The sunrise, that's the energy of Tiferet, of harmony, shining down to fix it. It reconnects the entire system all the way down to our physical world, which is known as Malhut. This is cosmic redemption. The connection is back online. But, and this is the absolute key, the channels that bring that light down, Netzach and Had, they are forever marked by the struggle. The system is healed, yeah, but the memory of the disconnection is now permanently hardwired into the process itself. Redemption doesn't erase the past, it builds on it.
This brings us to a huge concept in Kabbalah. Tikkun. Tikkun means rectification or repair, but it is so important to understand that in this system, Tikkun is not a factory reset. It is not about making things go back to the way they were before they broke. No. It's this profound, complex process of integrating the experience of brokenness, of exile, of struggle, into a new, stronger, and more conscious whole. The repaired vessel is actually considered greater than the one that was never broken in the first place.
And this just shows you the sheer scale of what's happening. The Zohar teaches that Jacob is actually a reincarnation of Adam, and his struggle is a cosmic do-over. The serpent's bruise on Adam's heel, that's the archetypal wound of humanity's disconnection from the divine. Jacob's limp is the tikkun, the rectification for that ancient fault. He takes that wound, he re-experiences it in his own body, and he integrates it. The sunrise heals the wound not by making it disappear, but by absorbing it into a new, redeemed identity, turning a mark of failure into a medal of honor.
Let's look at this through one more lens, numbers. In Kabbalah, numbers are never just quantities. They are qualities. They have meaning. The number 10 represents the full structure of the 10 Sephirot, the complete divine architecture, the whole shebang. The light of Tiferet restores the connection throughout this entire system, from the highest ground to the lowest kingdom. This signifies a total structural redemption. The whole system is back online.
But while the entire system is healed, the impact, the actual memory of the trauma, is located in a specific place. It's encoded in the number 7. This represents the 7 lower Sephirot. These are our emotional and active dimensions, from Chesed down to Malchut, where we experience love, fear, harmony, struggle.
The limp in Netzach and Hod tells us that the memory of the fight lives on right here, in the emotional, active part of the system. So what's the ultimate result of all of this? 1. A new, integrated oneness. But it's a oneness that's fundamentally different and way greater than the unity that existed before the struggle. This new unity is more resilient, it's more conscious, precisely because it contains the memory of its opposite. It's a wholeness that knows brokenness, a light that knows darkness. The limp doesn't take away from this oneness. It is the very signature of its hard-won depth, and that is the ultimate secret.
All right, now to make these really deep mystical mechanics a little more tangible, let's shift to the level of mashal, the parable. How can we translate this ancient wisdom into our own modern language? Let's try a couple of analogies here.
Okay, first, the video game version. Imagine your character is in the final boss battle of a major chapter. It's an epic fight, it lasts all night, you finally win, and boom, the screen just fills with light. A new, brighter, more beautiful level is unlocked. That's your sunrise, that's the redemption. But when you look at your character model, you notice something new. There's a permanent, visible scar on their face, or maybe a stat that's slightly lowered, a debuff, like -1 agility from an old leg wound. That scar, that debuff, it isn't a bug, it's a feature. It's a badge of honor that becomes part of your character's story, a constant reminder of that epic victory and what it took to get there.
Now for the cosmic engineering version. Think of the universe as this vast, interconnected network. In the middle of the night, a critical server crashes. That's the struggle, the disconnect. The whole system is threatened. The engineers, the divine forces, they work all night and they finally get it back online. Full functionality is restored. That's the sunrise. The system is fully operational again. But the system isn't wiped clean. The detailed error logs from the crash, the performance scars, like latency spikes, the record of that stress event, all of that data is now permanently stored in the archive. And this is what makes the system stronger. The memory of the failure becomes an essential source of resilience, used to predict and prevent future crashes. The scar isn't a weakness, it's the data that ensures future strength.
And that brings us to the final and maybe the most important level, the nifsal, the application. We've journeyed from the literal story all the way to the cosmic secret. So what does this mean for us, right here, right now, in our own lives?
While the teaching is that this story is not just about some patriarch from thousands of years ago, it is the story of every single human soul. We are all Jacob. We each have our own Jabbok crossings, those moments of total existential dread before some terrifying unknown. We each have our own nights of wrestling, with our past, with our fears, with loss, with faith. And we emerge from those struggles changed. We each carry the limps, the scars, the wounds from those battles.
This is the promise of the limping dawn. The promise of the Zoar here is not one of erasure. It is not that if we're just faithful enough, our scars will vanish and we'll forget all the pain. The promise is something so much more profound. It is that a sun can rise for us, personally, and that our healing, our wholeness, is not achieved in spite of our wounds, but is made complete by them. Our scars become the evidence of our strength, the source of our wisdom, and the signature of our unique, hard-won identity.
So the question this ancient story leaves for every one of us is this: what is the limp you carry into your own sunrise? What scar isn't a sign of your weakness, but is the very proof of your victory? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.